Hi everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. Today we're going to take a look at the 2023 GMC Yukon Denali and answer the question, what do you get for a sticker price of $83,490? Well, one thing you might get is the need to know that this is not a black exterior color. It's probably hard to tell. This is midnight blue metallic. It does not look like it in the light today out here or on the camera. So we're going to definitely take a look at everything and show you a vehicle that has a very comfortable ride quality for what it is. It does have magnetic ride control, so that's definitely going to help out a lot. It has impressive climate control, according to what I've read, and a generous amount of cargo and interior space. So passengers and cargo should be nice and happy with plentiful room. Let's get started taking a look at exactly what we have here. You really won't get a much more aggressive looking full-size SUV than what we have here. The large grille with the GMC logo right there in the center. We're going to have the forward-facing camera, and then every single light, LED, whether it's the LED daytime running lights, the LED headlights, we also have, which I don't have on right now, but the LED fog lights right there. And as we work our way around, the power adjustable side view mirrors with the turn signal indicators built in. Obviously, they're going to have the body color housing right there. And there is a generous amount of chrome mixed in with this exterior color. So depending on what you like, well, that may be a good thing. It does give it a little bit of a touch of elegance with that midnight blue metallic and the chrome combination on the door handles here. You're going to have passive entry, not only here on the front doors, but also on the rear. What exactly does that mean? When you push the button, especially for you parents out there, you can push that button on there and it unlocks all four doors, even from the rear back here. You will have the side steps that are fixed in place, but for some people, that probably is not a big deal. It's not the automatic steps, but again, no big deal there. We are going to have the nice quad tip exhaust back here with the slant cut, and even though you can't see it, we do have the ability, there is a logo right down here that would shine down on the ground. It may not be on right now, but the logo that will shine down there and let you know, well, how to do what I just did right here. As far as opening this hands-free tailgate, a lot going on back here, a lot of space, but that's not all. Let's talk about what motivates this giant SUV to get down the road with absolutely no problem, because it is the largest, most powerful engine option available. Under the hood is the 6.2 liter V8, 420 horsepower and 460 pounds-feet of torque. And while this is a very large, heavy vehicle, you might be surprised at how well this power plant gets this Yukon down the road. It's mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And one thing you might say, well, with all that power and weight and the size of the vehicle and all, what about the MPGs? 14 city, 18 highway, 16 combined. And 6.2 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven is what GMC says you should achieve. And depending on your situation, you might do some towing. How much can you tow with this Yukon Denali? 7,400 up to 7,800 pounds. And cargo capacity numbers. We already took a look at the fact that you have a little bit of space right down here. What about overall cargo space? You have 41.5 up to 144.7 cubic feet. So I'm going to get these to fold down, and not going to be able to get that one to go all the way down just because this seat is too far back. But obviously you can use the buttons here to control these seats. The rear obviously are for the rear, and then you can also, there we go, we'll get that to go down a little bit further now maybe. You can also drop those middle row seats with these buttons right here. Now there is a difference here in that I have to manually go in and raise the middle row seats, but with these buttons right here we can go ahead and, let's see, there we go, make sure everything's working properly. We can go ahead and raise the seats back up in the rear area. Now, one trick to this here, watch this. I'm going to show you right now that I'm going to have to hold the button down to make that work. So notice what happens when I take my finger off of the button. the seat quits raising back up. So I'm going to go ahead and raise that all the way back up. And you also have connectivity back here. Let's see if we can open that up. You have the power outlet right there. That could come in handy in a multitude of ways. Some tie downs as well. So you can tie down cargo that you don't want moving around, sliding around, rolling around, all that kind of stuff. There is an available cargo cover if you so desire. That's what goes right here as far as sliding that back and doing all that kind of stuff. So quite a bit of versatility back here, depending on what your situation is. And one thing that I do like to show, we're going to hop into the interior here in the front seat for just a second to show you that you can control with this knob right here and the button. You can push that button to open and close that door back there, the tailgate. But you can also turn that to either turn it off, turn it to 3/4, or to open all the way. So depending on your situation, well, that might determine what you want to do. And there is absolutely no shortage of space back here. Now, leg room is obviously going to be a concern for rear seat passengers, especially if you're an adult. You'll notice how close my legs are to the seat here on the driver's side, but you can move the seats back and forth. Over there, I have the passenger side seat all the way forward. So what's the difference? Well, there you go. You can see there is a big difference there. So there's room to move things around and change up leg space. You do have the pass through here, so you don't have to necessarily worry about moving the seats out of the way for rear seat passengers to get out. And then we're going to have our drink holders here, or a drink holder, one on each side, obviously. And then we're going to have USB connectivity right there. Everybody has their air conditioning vents, so nobody should be uncomfortable because, well, it is a large vehicle. Like I said, it's supposed to have an impressive climate control system, and obviously that means quite a bit of airflow throughout the interior of the vehicle. Now, one thing you'll notice that is not here, tell me what you think about it, no sunroof of any sort. For me personally, that's a good thing because I just don't need a sunroof. And no matter if you use the sunroof or not, over the course of time, that gasket is eventually going to wear out if you keep the vehicle long enough, and it's going to leak. And we'll take a look in through the door for the rear seat area here on the driver's side. Here are the controls for the child safety locks. They're on when they're in that down position right there, or when they're back towards the rear of the door, they're off. A good thing to know about. Nice, comfortable armrests. There is some nice, comfortable material right there. The wood grain material right here. And the controls for getting these seats out of the way. Like I said, if you wanted to, you can move these out of the way completely. And just like that, there you go. You can also use the strap right there to do that if you need to. And thankfully, I can move that out of the way one-handed. So let's hop on inside here and see what we have. Quite a bit of space here for middle row passengers. And obviously that's going to depend a little bit on where the front seats are set. There are drink holders here, control climate right here. Everything very easy to use, very easy to figure out. So you can see what all is there as far as all of that goes. There is connectivity here as well, but we're just getting started. The real action is going to be found in the front seat. And as we move forward into the front seat area, more controls, more activities, more technology, and more space. The upper and the lower door bins, nice large door bin there. A lot of what we saw in the rear. Nice comfortable armrest right here with those soft touch materials. And then we have the power adjustable seats for the driver and the passenger. The Denali logo right here is going to be stitched into the seats. And let's hop inside here. We'll close that door just to get rid of some of that noise from outside. And you have the nice large glove box right here. A lot of space in there for gloves or whatever else you might want to put in there. And we'll have our climate control here. We're going to have the heated seats, as you can see, but not only heated, also ventilated. That is good. And then wireless charging right here for the cell phone. More connectivity. You will find a 12-volt power outlet, if I can open that up right there. And controls for everything to do with the air conditioner. Pretty simple to figure out, fan speed, all that good stuff. And if you want to conceal, well, I guess it is kind of controlling your environment in a way, but conceal away the wireless charging pad and all that good stuff right there, well, you can do that, and you can also conceal away the cup holders. So you can put all that right there and just give it kind of a nice clean look depending on the situation and how you want it to look. Now, one thing that is nice here is that if you say to yourself, you know, it's great to have that wireless charging pad, but what if you need to charge 2 phones at one time? You can actually buy an aftermarket wireless charging pad that mounts right here and continue to use that in that respect. So a very nice setup, a lot of space within the interior of the center console. And we're just getting started because I can't wait to show you all the technology that comes with the screen and everything the driver's going to find. One thing I didn't show you earlier is this button right here. What happens when you press that button? Well, let me show you what happens. It's going to move the console back. It's going to increase space by quite a bit and give a little bit more space right here for the driver and the passenger to do whatever they need to do. You can hide things away and conceal things away right there. That makes a big difference. So that is helpful. Probably wouldn't be the most useful thing when driving down the road if somebody wants to use that as an armrest, which there obviously is a lot of space there to do that. And before we hop into the driver's seat, I know a lot of you like to see the remote. So here's what your remote looks like. A little chrome on the side there. It does have remote start. I know that's a big deal to a lot of people. So there you go. You know what's there. And obviously we're going to find a few more accessories here on the driver's side door, including seat memory. Now you have 2 settings for that, but that is there. It would be nice at this price point to see that on the passenger side as well, but it is what it is. We have controls for the lighting around the vehicle, driving modes, controls here for your safety features, and there are quite a few of those, the head-up display, and the power adjustable, tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. So we'll hop inside here and get everything going. Obviously, it is push button start. Let me show you the graphics real quick that are going to come up on the screens for you. And as soon as that quits running, just because I know some people are going to say, I'd like to know what that looks like. So if I don't show it, someone's going to say something in the comments. I promise you. There are people out there who would complain if the cap on the valve stem was not screwed down all the way and they noticed. So here is the instrument cluster. Can't really say anything sarcastic about that, but you can see what's here. A very nice look, by the way. And just since I said something about it earlier, what are our driving modes? Well, as you can see, there's Sport. And we will go to normal. We also have tow haul mode and then off-road mode. And then we start over again. So you can see what all is there. Obviously, you have adaptive cruise control. You can go through quite a few features and change some things up as far as the look of the instrument cluster goes. So if you want to know what your oil filter or air filter life is, well, there you go. You know it's 99%, among other things. There's a lot going on here. There's our oil life. It's also 99%. But if you want to have the digital speedometer, let's see if we can bring that back up. I just had it up for you. There we go. We can put that right in the center of the instrument cluster. And one thing that I know there are varying opinions about, the push button shifter right here. What do you think about that? A little bit of a different look compared to what we see in some of the other full-size SUVs from GMC, being that this is the Denali, but it's there, it's push button, and so you'll get used to it. Not a big deal necessarily. I know a lot of people would rather just have the old school column shifter. It's just kind of simple to use. There's your push button start. And then obviously you're going to have a lot going on here as far as the infotainment screen goes. You can pair your phone. You've got all the information for your trailering. You have built-in navigation. And we can go back home right here. We even have Google here, which I'm not going to demonstrate that, but you do have the voice recognition. I don't want to set off all of your devices because I've had enough people who say when I say, hey, well, you know what? It sets everything in their house off. So we're going to be nice and not do that. So let's take a look at the multiple camera views around this Yukon. You can see the overhead view right there. You can also see what else we have as far as these many different camera views. They are literally everywhere. If you're backing up to a trailer to see if you can tow what we talked about earlier, well, there's how you're going to do that. And then we'll go back here. Now, I don't believe that we have a front camera washer here. Let's see here if we do. I don't think so. Nope, no front camera washer. So I didn't think I saw one earlier when we were looking on the front end and showed the front camera, but not a big deal. I don't think a lot of people are going to be too concerned about that. So ultimately, that's what you have. Let's get out on the road for a quick test drive in case you're curious to know what it's like to drive this Yukon Denali. Before we set out on our test drive, I did want to give you a good look, or as best as I can at least, at the head-up display. That you can change quite a bit as to what you can see on there information-wise. You can change the height, you can also change the brightness. Quite a bit going on there. Very simple to adjust with everything that I showed you earlier with all of the buttons, or really more switches than buttons right here. So what is it like to drive this Yukon? It's a large vehicle, but it's really not that uncomfortable, obviously, to ride in. We talked about that earlier with the magnetic ride suspension. But the thing I like here is that when you look at it, it looks really big. So if you're stepping up from, say, a mid-size SUV to something like this that's full size and, well, definitely large, it doesn't feel as big, at least not to me, when I'm driving down the road as I am right now. It feels very easy to maneuver around. Yeah, it's a full-size SUV. It does not have the tightest turning radius, but it's really not too terribly bad at the same time. It's a really comfortable vehicle. It gets around with no problem. You have all those camera views if you ever have any trouble and wonder to yourself, do I have room to get out of this space or get into the space or whatever's going on around you. You can look overhead, you can look in front, on the side. I mean, you can look everywhere you want to. So not a big deal and plenty of horsepower. Let's hit the pedal just a little bit here. We won't go too far into that, but I'll tell you what, that actually pushed me back in the seat just a little bit. Can your Yukon do that? Or your full-size SUV actually push you back in the seat? Probably not. Well, depending on what's under the hood, it may or may not be able to. But I tell you what, we're not hurting for horsepower. We're also not hurting for not only good, comfortable ride quality from the vehicle itself, but the seats themselves are also very comfortable. It would be nice if I had someone who could drive for me and I could tell you what the middle and the rear seat ride quality experience is like. But can't quite do that here today, so we'll just have to leave it be. But overall, a very enjoyable vehicle to drive. It's very versatile in a multitude of ways. And speaking of turning radius, I tell you what, I'm going to tell you how good the turning radius here is right now, because we are going to go ahead and make a legal U-turn here. I'm going to let some of this traffic come on by before I do that, but I wish I had an overhead shot for you, but I don't. But let's just see how we do here. I know I can make it, but how tight is it going to be? Actually, not bad at all. There you go. So that's probably the best opportunity I'm going to have to let you know how tight the turning radius is. Probably better than what you might expect with a full-size SUV. So the good thing here is that it's great for the family. It can haul the boat, it can haul a travel trailer, a small travel trailer. I mean, not a huge one, but obviously not something that's a gooseneck or a fifth wheel or anything like that. But it will haul a travel trailer, a nice sized boat. You could haul the race car back and forth to the racetrack with an enclosed or open trailer. And with all that cargo capacity back there, depending on your situation, you could lower those seats down and haul around whatever you need to run your business. So there's a lot of versatility here. Depending on your situation, it will definitely meet your needs in every form and fashion. And that is what you get for a sticker price of $83,490 with the 2023 GMC Yukon Denali. And yes, the valve stem caps are screwed all the way down, in case anybody was wondering, because of what I said earlier. So tell me what you think. Is there anything missing here that you would like to see here that isn't, or do you think it's just right? Gotta say a special thanks to my friends at Morgan Buick GMC for loaning me this Yukon for the day, and a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to take the time to watch and give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video and would like to know about other vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.